What's good people, and welcome to the Silly, Nerdy, Sometimes Wordy podcast. And I'm your host, BK, and this is episode 49, week 1, opening night, a fan's breakdown of the Ravens versus the Chiefs. And in this episode, I'm going to be doing my breakdown of the first game of the 105th NFL season between the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs, and some fantasy nuggets with one quick nerdy note. All right, what's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's doing very well. It's been a minute, longer than a minute since I've been on the podcast. I'm happy to be back on here talking some football because NFL season is back. There's a game, it's been played. I've done most of my fantasy drafts. I might have one more, but hey, I'm ready to get into it. So with that, let's get into the nerdy note. And I just have one nerdy note to talk about, and it relates to the NFL. And earlier today, and previous days, there are multiple reports out that the NFL is reportedly considering pushing to have the start of the NFL season to start on Labor Day weekend. And this would mean that we would get games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to kick off the NFL season, because, you know, the NFL makes everything an event. They take over everything and they do it well. So we'll see if that actually happens. And I would be interested to hear what the coaches have to say about that, the players have to say about that, executives have to say about that, on that possibility. But they are talking about it. Nothing has been confirmed. Commissioner hasn't said anything about it. So we'll see if it actually happens. I'm sure it will possibly be a topic of discussion at the next owners meeting and maybe even at the Super Bowl. So, but you know, that may be a few years away. Who knows? But I would be for it as a fan. But we'll see how the players and the collective bargaining and the players union and how that plays out. So, okay, that is my one and only nerdy note I have. Let's get into our main topic. And our main topic is going to be talking about this first NFL game that just took place between the Baltimore Ravens and the two-time back-to-back defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. And this is something I want to try to do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it every week, but I'd like to be able to do a podcast and talk about these standalone games that are on. So these Thursday night games, Sunday night games, Monday night games, and those end of season Saturday games, and it's Christmas Day as well. So I'll see if I can keep it up. I don't know. But this is something I want to try to do and just talk about the league, these games in my own unique way. And I think it'll be pretty cool to do this. I love watching the NFL. And, of course, fantasy football is a big deal for me. So, okay. So let's get into it. It's week 1, and Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs. You got your starting quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. So in this game, let's see. Of course, we have the new kickoff rules, and from what I've seen, nothing really spectacular happened there. It looked like it's kind of the same thing happened with preseason. Of course, we'll get more teams playing. We got another game tomorrow night on Friday with the Packers and the Eagles, so we'll see how they do, as well as then on Sunday with the full slate with the new kicking rule. And this game was exciting. Went down to the wire. Let's start off with the Baltimore Ravens. It is the second year for Lamar Jackson, in second consecutive year in this offense that he's in. And the interesting thing I noticed, obviously, the offensive line has been revamped a bit. They have three positions that I believe are rookies and one second year, and Tyler Linderbaum, the center. So you can see in this game that there were some issues with the offensive line because they were generating a lot of pressure and they were getting through. So that's going to be something to monitor. But I will say in the second half, it got the offensive line did hold up a little bit better, but it's only week one. So nobody knows how these teams are in week one. What you see in week one is not what you see at the end of the season or halfway through the season. And there could be different combinations of the offensive line, so we don't know. But they started to play a little bit better during the second half. And I will say I was kind of multitasking during this game because I was also watching the U.S. Open women's final semifinal tennis matches on different screens, but which was exciting as well for the two matches. But in terms of this game, I think the offensive line of the Baltimore Ravens got a little bit better, and of course, able to see Derrick Henry for the first time for Baltimore, and he was solid. Got into the end zone, had a couple yards. He was targeted a few times, so I think it's going to get better as the season goes along. Zay Flowers looks solid, and so good to see Mark Andrews back out there. Hopefully he can stay healthy and be more and get have some consistency. Hopefully though most of the season. And it was a good game. Obviously they had a chance to win it at the very end there with the touchdown in the end zone, which he caught it. It's a great catch. Unfortunately, his toe hit the white line. So close. But they also had a chance to get it in the end zone. The play or two previous to that, Lamar missed a pass in the end zone ever so slightly. So that could have won it as well. And we'll see how Baltimore develops, the offensive line develops. But, it's only week one. We'll see how it goes. They're in a tough division in the AFC North. So, okay. So, from the Chiefs' perspective, I'll just talk about the defense a little bit. As I mentioned before, they generated good pressure. They were able to get through to Lamar, flushing him out multiple times, but Lamar got a lot of yardage on them. I believe he ran for a little bit over 100 yards, I think 104 yards on them, but they were able to get some pressures on him, hits on him, and so the Chiefs' defensive line started out good, and of course they lost their corner, Snead. He's with the Titans now, so the young corner that they did have there, he was tested a little bit, so he made a good play there that could have been a touchdown, but we'll see how their secondary develops. And okay, the offense. I want to talk about the offense. Obviously, no Hollywood Brown. He's still trying to work back from his injury. Rashid Rice looked good. He still has his legal stuff that he's dealing with, but I guess that is still going through the legal process, which may not be resolved or go through until the end of the year, maybe into next year. So he is able to play, but he looked good. And then, of course, Xavier Worthy. We all know, for those who don't know, he ran the fastest 40 time ever at the combine, and he got into the end zone twice, once on a end around, a rush, and then a receiving touchdown. He was, very quick, very fast, so he had an impact immediately in the game. So that offense was looking scary. Travis Kelce was looking good. Pacheco was looking good. So I think it's only week one, but it seems like their offense is going to be much better. The wide receiver room is much better, and we'll see how it really goes once Marquise Hollywood Brown comes back from injury. And, of course, Patrick Mahomes, he looked good. He was able to get away from pressure and get the ball down the field. Of course, he's always able to escape, and he's never looking to run right away. He's looking to pass, and that is exactly what he did multiple times, escaping from pressure and getting the ball down the field, creating opportunities for his wide receiver. So I think he's going to be pretty happy, and I feel like the offense is going to be able to put up a lot of points and possibly carry this team as we move forward. So good. The Chiefs offense so far, it's only week one, but they look good. They could have easily lost the game as well. So I'm sure they have some things that they will clean up. And I think that's all I have to say about the game itself. Now let's talk about a little bit to end with some fantasy information. Of course, I play fantasy football. And if you want to learn a little bit about fantasy football, I did multiple podcast episodes last year. Episodes 16, 17, and 18 talked about what fantasy football is and how to play, and a little about the scoring and the rules. So check those episodes out. It's out now for you to go back and listen to. But I am currently in 7 fantasy football leagues, 7 teams I have. I could have one more. I don't know if they're going to do it. But I just want to talk about some players I have that were in this game. Okay, so starting with Travis Kelce. He had 3 catches for 34 yards. And in the 2 leagues I have him in, NFL.com gave me 6 points for that and 14.30 points for that. So different league, different scoring options. Derrick Henry. He had 13 carries, 46 yards, 1 touchdown, so he gave me 10.6 points on ESPN.com. And then defensive players, I like to do defense as well, like variety. Had Nnamdi Madubuike, the defensive lineman, edge rusher. He had 2 tackles and a half sack, gave me 2 points on NFL.com. And then lastly, Roquan Smith, the edge rusher, linebacker. He had 7 tackles, 4 solo tackles, 1 interception. So that gave me 8.5 points on NFL.com. So that's my fantasy update for this episode. And that is all I have for you on this episode. So I hope to do this again for other standalone games. I'll see how much I can do each week. I don't know. But it's fun and great that football is back. So excited to watch NFL Red Zone, 7 hours of commercial-free football. Let's go. But that's all for today. So hope you learned something. Hope you guys are excited for NFL season as I am. And that's all we have. So until next time, we will talk soon.